Well, anything you see done on the backside, Josh, I'm telling you, he is a road warrior. If you see him at any of our shows, this guy drives thousands and thousands of miles to get the product there, get the booth set up, supports the speakers and each and every one of you. But I'm so excited to do this with you tonight, Josh.
I'm so excited too. Thank you so much for the invite, and I can't be more excited about what we're doing. So this is really awesome because I've always wanted to do a question and answer type deal of frequently asked questions, and so it's exciting to do it live. It's awesome.
That's so cool. And you know what? Sometimes we're here for all of you. And I know sometimes you might have a question, maybe customer service isn't open. Maybe you didn't feel like you had, your complete list of questions answered. So this we try to get to everybody.
Did
Before we
actually have a
start,
question. I just wanted to mention this. Hi, everybody. This is Elizabeth from the last call. I'm in the Q&A in the chat, helping you guys in there. We did have a question that was submitted, and I wanted to just maybe start with this because they had submitted it for tonight. So hopefully this person is on, Josh. So we'll start out with a bang. I'll just throw you this question, and then everybody else, this is your time. So please, if there's any questions, Josh and Lisa are the people. So, okay, this first question is, I have found conflicting information regarding fluoride and whether it interferes with nitric oxide production. Can you identify whether fluoride in toothpaste or mouth rinse interferes with nitric oxide production, or does it inhibit the benefits of Cardio Miracle?
I love that question. I'll start, Josh, and then you can finish it off. But there's a lot of ingredients in toothpaste as well as mouthwash. And it does say there are studies out there to say that if you use mouthwash, it reduces your uptake of nitric oxide by 50%. Now, whether it's actually the fluoride or if it's the different chemicals inside the fluoride in the toothpaste. So I just tell everybody just to avoid it, take your Cardi Miracle a half hour after you've brushed your teeth. What was interesting is we did a podcast a few weeks ago with Dr. Josh Hellman, and what he said, he encourages everybody when you're drinking your Cardio Miracle, mine is almost gone. When you're drinking it, he said, swish it around in your mouth for a while and then swallow it because he said nitric oxide is created sublingually as well. So take it in your mouth and then swallow it. So maybe you want to brush your teeth first and then maybe a half hour um, do your Cardio Miracle. Your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, that is a great question. We have a lot of people actually that have been receiving tons of periodontal benefits from Cardio Miracles. So I you know I, I'm not disagreeing with you, Lisa, but I just don't know if people take if I think that it is smart to um, do it 30 minutes before or after. But I don't know that you would be able to consume enough of it because
Yeah.
just as well as people have questioned us on the strips, the nitric oxide strips. Nitric oxide does not live in the saliva, it lives in the blood.
Right.
And so as it does have that sublingual benefit when you do swish, and it helps with the gums and the bleeding gums and the receding gums. I just, I don't know, that's kind of a hard one, but I would definitely just stick to 30 minutes before or after. I think that should be good. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Josh. And there is a lot of praise reports on people with their gum issues and teeth issues.
Yeah.
But thank you. Any other questions that are out there? You see one?
Yes, actually, can I take both? Lana Patterson is asking, can I take both dosages in the morning before workout and then after, or do I need to take AM and PM?
Hey, Josh, you're the workout man.
Yeah, so I personally I like it more tart. So definitely 2 scoops in the morning, right before I work out, and 2 scoops after. Some people like to take it while they're working out, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I kind of shoot it. I kind of do a quick, just get it down, get it in my system. And like this morning, I woke up at 5 and I just down 2 scoops, and then I went for my morning 7 mile walk, and then afterwards I sipped on it all day. So it's that's how I do it.
That's so cool. And how much weight have you lost, Josh?
I've lost 188 pounds. So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy, you guys? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, we don't promote it as weight loss, but it gives you what you just felt satisfied, didn't you, Josh?
Totally. Yeah. I drank 2 scoops in the morning. I went for a 7 mile walk. And then during the day, while I'm out running around, I did not break my fast, till like 5 o'clock. And, so, it just helps me with intermittent fasting, and as well as controlled and intentional eating is what I call it. And, I used to be a strongman competitor where I flip telephone poles and lift cars, and now I'm more worried about my back and my heart health, and so I want to be around for my children, and so so I lost a bunch of weight. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
Thank you so much. No, I'm seeing the questions over here to your right. Elizabeth, are you seeing them somewhere else? And I'm not, are you seeing them, Josh?
I actually have a couple that were not in the chat right now, but they were from earlier.
Okay.
One of them is, and this is probably a good question for Josh, is it still recommended to wait 30 minutes after drinking Cardio Miracle before eating protein?
Yes, definitely protein. I know that we're kind of stacking them, like, but if you were to wake up, brush your teeth, and then wait 30 minutes, drink it, have some protein, maybe 30 minutes after you drink it. It just, it just helps with the optimal benefits. And we also do suggest as well keeping it 30 minutes away from, coffee, caffeine, stuff like that, so that there's no conflicting. It's not gonna do anything. It's just like bad to your system. It's just not gonna be optimal. So that's an important point.
I think on that note too, Josh, I just wanted to bring this up, Lisa. I think one thing that had come up, some people will put like spirulina or other kind of nutrients that may contain a couple grams of protein. Is that as much of a deterrent to the optimal production, or is that okay? Are we really talking about like an eggs and bacon breakfast here,
Yeah, I was told by this doctor named Dr. Berger. He, like years ago when I got into nitric oxide therapy, he's like the leading guy over in Germany, leading doctor over there, speaking about nitric oxide. And he said to me, he said 50 milligrams of protein is what's going to conflict. So, Lisa, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I always understood that the nitric oxide and protein kind of fight for the same space.
Yeah.
So just to take them separately.
Yeah.
And also after for people that are weightlifting, it's a good, what I was understanding, what Robert Scott Bell will say sometimes is he'll take the Cardio Miracle before he works out, and then he'll take his protein after. So the protein will build up the muscle after you've, broken it down a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I see a question here. It says, how long do I have to after I mix it with my water to drink before it's diluted? What we've tested actually is that, people have put it in a gallon pitcher and put it in their fridge, and we've only tested up to 7 days. It's still 100%. The efficacy is still 100%. So I don't know that do you know what that answer is, Lisa?
I have no idea, but I can imagine, everything is beautifully put together. So as long as it isn't super hot,
Yeah,
you leave it in your car or something in the refrigerator, so you're not destroying any of the delicate nutrients in there.
exactly.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There was another question about, can I take it with blood pressure meds? Of course, we always say on all of our calls that we don't treat, cure, or diagnose. And if you have concerns about your medication and the product, please seek your medical provider. But remember, think about this as food.
Yeah.
So if you're going to take your medication with food, you can certainly take it with Cardio Miracle.
Yeah, and it's going to help it get through your system actually more
Mm-hmm.
effectively, because it's a vasodilator, so it's going to get it to where it needs to be. And when nitric oxide won the Nobel Prize in medicine, it actually was mentioned that nitric oxide is going to be the greatest regulator for your blood. So it helps purify the blood, and it helps regulate pretty much everything in your system that you're working on. So I would look at, I would definitely, look at the dosing with your doctor, and see, we have doctors that are willing to look at the ingredients and see that we're only using whole and organic fruits and vegetables here. And so they will help dose it down if they need to, or they'll tell you to, cut back on it. I mean, it's but those doctors, I don't know how many there are out there, but it's just work with that.
But it's exciting, when you hear Dr. Judy talk about it, she says this is food. So don't, there's no caffeine, no sugar, there isn't any disruptors to digestion or anything like that. So yeah, that's really good. One other thing, Josh, I think is exciting is now we added the glutathione. So if we have people going, okay, I do this for detox, I do that, I do that. I would really challenge everybody, go through your cupboard. If you're already doing glutathione, take a look at Cardi Miracle, what they recently added, because glutathione is not the master antioxidant, but it also helps with detoxing. So it automatically, sometimes, in fact, years ago that we did a kind of a test on a detox. And did you know if you're taking the product and if you notice that your body odor is increasing since you've been taking glutathione, that means that it's detoxing you further and deeper. So that was kind of a fun test we did years ago. So again, I think that John is continuing to look at, other opportunities for Cardi Miracle and how we can, spread ourselves all over, whether it's detox, whether it's, increase energy and so on. So that's good.
I love it.
There was a great question in the chat here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it was Chad, and he's new to the Chris, sorry. Chris is new to the Cardio Miracle family. He said it's his first day on the product. When can I expect it to start working?
It's a good one. That's a good question. Everyone's different, with our triathletes and our people that are regular with taking supplements and whatnot. Sometimes people feel it on a taste test, to be honest. But for others like myself, I was an active big guy, but when I was 470, 480, 480 pounds, my blood pressure was 190 over 110, so it was super high and really not great. And so it actually, I had to take 4 scoops a day every day for at least 6 weeks to have it even come down even the slightest bit. So I suggest that, because everyone's so different, and you can't feel prevention, but you can feel if something's
Hey,
working.
that's a really good, say it again. I think that's a really good tagline.
Yeah, you can't feel prevention. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. So, but the thing is that just by knowing that we're dealing with 58 whole fruits and vegetables, I'll say it all day long, that that you're getting the best nutrients in your body every single day, and it is working whether you feel it or not at all times, because we say any nitric oxide is better than none, and we say 1 scoop is better than none, but 2 is optimal. So it's just, however you continue to feel, but sticking with it and being consistent is the utmost, like the most important thing you could possibly do.
I love that. Is there another question here?
There is. Can I make it into a blender slushy with ice? And alternatively, can I add it to warm water or tea?
Yes. Yeah, you can steep it. Just don't boil it. So you could steep it if you want. Definitely, make a slushy. That sounds really good, actually. So doing a slushy sounds awesome. Lisa, do you have any suggestions on that one?
No, I just think any extreme heat. I don't think cold, because we have people now in the summer that are making Cardi Miracle popsicles and Cardi Miracle ice cubes, and it really is, it's great that way. But I would avoid the high heat.
Yeah.
Because there is, you do have the whole foods in there that do have somewhat of a delicate, pattern to them. So that's the only thing I would avoid.
Yeah.
And if I only could take 1 scoop daily, is it better than a day? Is it better day or night? What do you think, Josh?
For me, it helps the most when I'm fasting. So like first thing in the morning, I'll do it before I even brush my teeth, like because I need it, you know. I mean, it's just something that I do every day. It helps curb my appetite and does not break my fast, which is awesome. Um, but you know, it really depends. But at night, it's kind of crazy. Now that I've been on nitric oxide therapy for now 15 years. Yeah, if I can't sleep, sometimes I'll get up at midnight or 1 a.m. and I'll take a scoop or two and I'll go right to sleep. It's crazy.
Wow.
But there are times if I take it that I just focus on that little light, you know, the smoke detector, and I'll focus on it for hours, you know. So it just depends on how used to it you are or whatever, you know. So.
What Josh Hellman said, Dr. Josh Hellman said something really, I think telling is many of us, maybe not you, Josh, but many of us will get up in the morning, we have a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah.
So he says, avoid the coffee first thing in the morning because you have literally spent 6 to 8 hours dehydrating yourself. So he said, get up in the morning to rehydrate, glass of water, scoop of Cardio Miracle, and then wait a half hour and then have your coffee and whatever else if that's what you like to do. But I thought that was really good to point out. The other thing I wanted to mention is John added lion's mane. Now I know for years in Ayurvedic medicine or alternative health, we talked about lion's mane as being, really powerful for the brain. And I really appreciate the fact that John added that to the product because now here we are, how many years, 4 years post the biggest insult to our health that we've ever encountered. And people are struggling. They're struggling with, thought, they're struggling with stress, they're struggling with, overall clarity of thinking. So do your homework, look up lion's mane. The other thing I want to mention to everybody is each of these ingredients taken separately in the amounts that you have in Cardi Miracle, like glutathione for most people would cost singly about $100 a month. Lion's mane, if you get a cheaper one, which again is you're getting into the synthetics, which we don't want to do, but the more synthetic something is, the cheaper it is. You can go to Walmart, Walgreens, pick it up, no problem. You think you're taking something, that's great. Well, I'd rather take something that's been researched that, John really has your best interest at heart and has done the research on the ingredients because the ingredients are so important when you put something together. What are your thoughts on lion's mane, Josh?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I was gonna say that I remember Dr. Judy last time we saw her at the last event I was at, she was talking about how effective lion's mane is and how awful it tastes by itself.
Yeah.
So she was impressed that we were able to mask the taste, but she told me some benefits of lion's mane, and I was like, my goodness. And um I've been getting inundated with this mushroom coffee, online,
Right?
and
It's everywhere.
yeah, one of the biggest benefits they promote is lion's mane in that.
Oh, there you go.
So it's just kind of interesting, but I think it's awesome that we have it, and I think it's even more impressive that John, I call my dad John, but that he was able
Look at
to,
you.
yeah, that he was able to make Cardi Miracle still taste, you know, good. Like it tastes like a
That's a
treat
miracle.
instead of, like you're sucking down some, some wheatgrass or something. So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
that is so cool. So, are 2 scoops a day enough? Am I wasting my money to take more a day? Absolutely not, Josh.
No, never. I mean, there are days like this morning I started my day with a 7 mile walk and I was dragging this morning and I've taken probably I took 2 scoops. I take 2 scoops at a time. So 2 scoops this morning before I went. I took 2 scoops when I got back, and I've taken probably 4 more scoops during the day just because I go all day. And I had to go to all these meetings at a warehouse today. I had to walk through a new warehouse and help them paint a little bit. And I carried 2 toilets and so and and I went and did some weights in the afternoon. So, I've taken 6 scoops today and it's awesome. You know, and I don't want to contradict what John says. He says, you can't overdose, but we just want to make sure people are healthy and that they're aware of how their body's feeling. And the reason why I was dragging is because I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night. And the thing is like, if you need it, you can continue to take it. It's going to help you so
Yeah.
that you don't crash. But also we want to make sure that people are careful because you can overdose on anything. So
Yeah,
just being mindful of that.
that's right. Thank you, Josh. And then we keep going into atrial fib, our 3 scoops, okay, twice a day. Now we don't want to get into medical conditions. And of course, seek your doctor's approval, especially atrial fib. That's an irregular heart rate and heartbeat. What I would say to that is just take the product based on your overall health and use it as a food source. It does have when you hear John's story about how it strengthened his heart and prevented him from, having a major open heart surgery, that's very encouraging. But we don't want to say that it will cure atrial fib or anything of that matter. But again, atrial fibrillation is a mechanical dysfunction of the heart. So if it were me, I would be thinking about my heart as the muscle and how do I strengthen the muscle around the mechanical engine of the heart. And all the ingredients in Cardio Miracle are geared to do that. So, but I would, start somewhat modestly, start even with half a scoop. And there is a really interesting story now that we're asking about dosing. Robert Scott Bell, Dr. Bell will say he tells a story about a guy that came back with an amazing story. And Dr. Bell says, well, how much were you taking? He said he was taking half a scoop a day and he had this amazing recovery.
Yeah.
So there's so much in this product that I would challenge everybody. You probably aren't getting everything that's in the Cardio Miracle product on a daily basis, even if you ate perfect, if you're eating organic, if you're, growing your own fruit and fruits and vegetables and so on. So this definitely is a blessing for our bodies.
Yeah, I love that answer. And the thing is that like I said in the beginning, it's a great regulator, right? And so when people like if they can't feel their fingertips or they have like arthritis or something, they start getting kind of some pain in their areas that are waking up, so to speak. And so sometimes it can be alarming to feel an extra thing happening in their heart or whatnot. But it's going to regulate and wake up. That's just what I mean, there's over 250,000 articles and written published studies on nitric oxide, the benefits. And
for the heart.
yeah, for the heart. So if you Google, will nitric oxide help X blah, 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 XYZ, then I'm sure that you can find articles on Google. I mean, I think like 40 million results come up every time I ask a question like that, but it's not will Cardio Miracle help? It's will nitric oxide help? And we have proven through our testing that our product does create nitric oxide. So
that's so exciting.
Hey, Lisa, there's a
Yeah.
question from Ronnie Stevens. He actually wanted to ask this on the last Q&A, so I wanted to give him the chance to get his question answered. If that's all right, I'll read it. It's kind of long.
Sure.
Okay, Ronnie's question was, my question is there a definitive test that someone can do to tell if to say they stopped taking their blood pressure medicine? I hear people say they started taking Cardio Miracle and now they stopped and now they stopped taking cardio. I tried to stop once before I started and I felt kind of weird. Most doctors and pharmacists say that once you start taking blood pressure medicine, you can't stop. So I was wondering who these people who can stop taking their blood pressure. And I'm just going to say something, actually. I know we don't want to treat, cure, diagnose, but my mother is on Cardio Miracle. She has completely stopped her blood pressure medication. She's been on Cardio Miracle for a few years, and it actually took her basically 3 years. And I think it was a trust thing, though. It's depending on how you feel and how comfortable you are. And do you trust your health professional? And there's so many factors that go into it, but I can say 3 years later, she's off her blood pressure meds, but I guarantee she went to half a dose after a month on the product. I know that too. So those people are definitely out there. I just wanted to add that. Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
No, I think that's a great question. I would just proceed with caution, listen to your body. Again, legally, we always have to say that seek medical attention and medical guidance. We are just a nutritional company giving the body what it needs on a daily basis. And the body has so much wisdom, it will do what it's entitled to do, what it was created to do. And that's repair, replenish, and heal. But just, pay attention to your blood pressure. And what I would do is just go gradually in whichever direction that you'd like to go.
Yeah, I tell everybody that asks me any of those questions that it's all up to how you feel
Yeah.
100%. And like I said, if you have a healthcare professional who's willing to work with you, um I was on a CPAP machine, and my doctor said I came in the room every half hour because I thought you were going to die while you're doing your sleep test. He
Oh my
said,
word.
even with your CPAP turned up to the full amount, you were dropping 40% below the regulated oxygen levels. And so he hooked up 2 more oxygen tanks to me, and I finally was able to breathe while I was sleeping. And I'm telling you what, through weight loss, through regulating my eating schedules for eating with intention, and with Cardio Miracle, I believe that I've been able to do that. I haven't used a CPAP for like this entire year. So it's been incredible. But I had to make that I didn't ask my doctor if that was okay. He was even like, you're crazy, So I just did that for myself because I'm not a gambling man, but I just do what I feel, and that's maybe it's irresponsible, but I just couldn't stand the mask on my face. So that's my little CPAP story. So yeah,
Josh, that's so encouraging because I know we probably all know people that are on CPAP and have issues with sleeping.
sure.
So that's really encouraging. I'm sure all of our people at least know one person. Um, so is there collagen in the product? No, because collagen, amino acid is a precursor to collagen, right? Collagen is a precursor to protein. And we would just suggest that take it a half hour before or after.
Yeah. I mean, or like I believe, I think some people that I know are even mixing in some collagen. So I don't know. I haven't done research on collagen to see if there's any contradiction, but yeah, it's always safe to take it, to separate it personally.
Yeah, collagen is in the same category as protein.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to take it, just be aware of that.
Yeah.
There was a question about neuropathy. Now, again, we're getting into medical questions, but neuropathy, we recently had a new gentleman that came and worked with us, Gary, and he had some challenges with numbness in his fingers and toes. And was it only after a day, Josh, that he started having his feeling back?
Yeah. Yeah. Him and I talked about
Yeah,
placebo effect, but yeah, no, it was, he said after a day, he was like, oh my gosh, I can feel my fingers. So
yeah, yeah.
no, it was awesome. That really converted him right away. And that's when he called John again. And he's like, I need to work with this product because it helped me right away. So that's case in point that some people feel it right off the bat, and other people it takes some diligence. So
Somebody asked about cholesterol.
yeah.
So I'm just going to give you my 3-minute elevator pitch on cholesterol. I worked in medicine for 22 years, took care of thousands of patients, I'm sure, in the emergency room and trauma and life flight, all of that. But I'm going to tell you one story that I think is bears telling, and I don't get tired of telling it. We had a gentleman that came in at the age of 49. He was recently retired, and he wanted to just have an overall physical because he was recently retired and wanted to enjoy his life at 49. His cholesterol was 201. He was perfect health otherwise. He was actually a runner. They ended up putting him on Lipitor, which is a cholesterol lowering statin. I was working a week later in the emergency room. He came in and he couldn't put his feet. His feet no longer worked, and he had destroyed his Achilles tendons. That was in 1 week. The week after that, he came in and he had crushing substernal chest pain. He had a massive heart attack. And one of the side effects of statins are that they cause muscle weakness and muscle atrophy. So if you want to think about that for a moment, if a cholesterol lowering medication and how many people are on it, and years ago it used to be that a normal cholesterol was 300, that was okay, and then they kept lowering it. The other thing that we have to be aware of is that your brain is 80% fat. And if your brain is not getting good fat, omega-3s, if you're not encouraging, good fat to build your brain, you end up with what we would call dry brain, dry joints, and depression sets in, dementia sets in, a lot of neurological diseases set in, and Dr. Hellman will share that with you. He said all of his patients that he takes care of, first thing he does is number one, hydration with proper water. Number two, look at what kind of medications and the side effect of the medications that it's causing. Many times people, challenges with their overall thinking. So when you look at this particular product and all those wonderful nutrients, how you're literally bathing your brain in fantastic, wonderful nutrients. And we have found many, many, many people after being on the product for 3 months or a little bit longer, their cholesterol, triglycerides, they kind of level out and balance out. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Regulation. I'm telling you,
Jason,
the regulator is key. So someone asked about insulin pumps, and what we've noticed and what we've talked to customers about is that people that are type 1 diabetics, we've actually been told by our customers that they haven't had to use their insulin pumps as much while they're on Cardio Miracle, because of the nitric oxide effect. And so it's just case by case by case, but I've heard that from more type 1 diabetics than I can keep track of. So I know we're not diagnosing or anything. It's just some feedback that we've had from our customer base.
and there's also an interesting study that Cardio Miracle did, and you can go to cardiomiracle.com/studies, and you can find there's a study done on kidney. It addresses the kidney concerns, the cells of the kidneys, the regeneration of the cells in the kidneys. And one of the biggest challenges with many times with diabetics is the kidney function. So I look at everything that Cardio Miracle has done, those studies proving that, oh my goodness, we have these amazing opportunities for the body to heal itself and get down deep into, the root of the problem. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Can you explain the remodeling process the body goes through and would be a therapeutic dosage for treating Parkinson's? First of all, we don't treat, cure, diagnose, but there's been many studies that support that Parkinson's can be caused by outside factors. So if a person has been working with heavy metals, or maybe they're in a toxic environment, because it's a neurological disorder, dis-ease, I look at the product, every single one of the ingredients in Cardio Miracle are essential. And I say that, I don't say that lightly, are essential to our neurological system. Because when you have, even with you're dealing with people that have MS or anything like that, the synapses don't connect, right? They go haywire. So we have to make those connections connect properly. And the synergy of these ingredients and the way that John has put these together addresses all that. So if it were me, I'd be starting off with 1 scoop a day, but I would bump that up to 3 and 4 a day. And don't be afraid at all to take it, every single day, 3 to 4 a day.
And I love that answer, but I also like to point out the symptoms. So I've got two cousins who have some pretty serious Parkinson's disease, and they have said that a lot of their symptoms have subsided, and so it's really great for them to be able to have a better quality of life because of that. One of these questions, it says, my original subscription was in a canister. Subsequent subscriptions have come in a zip top bag. Are the formulas different? I noticed the scoop size is different. So yes, to answer your question, not only is the formula different, it is enhanced. And so we have included and enhanced the product with 4 more whole fruits and vegetables. And what we can do is if you can email support at cardiomiracle.com, we can send you the YouTube link where John talks about each one of the ingredients and goes through their benefits. And the reason why the scoop size is different is to make it easier to put it in a water bottle, actually. And also because the product is lighter. So we used to sweeten with stevia and erythritol. And erythritol was a very heavy, no calorie sweetener. It wasn't like aspartame or sucralose, but we decided that that's not the best one to use. So John moved to monk fruit and organic stevia. And so now the product is much lighter, and we had about 500,000 tubs that were stuck in the middle of the sea. And so we decided that we wanted to go with packaging where we could make it on our own. And so we wouldn't be held hostage by, importing and supply and demand. So hopefully that answers those questions.
But see, this points out to why there's a lot of thought that goes into everything the company does. And I really appreciate it because John is such a great patriot, to be able to protect our supply and then also to not get caught so you can't ship the product out in a container, right? That was really wise. So thank you guys.
Yeah, that was huge.
What is the other question here? Oh, there's a video. Okay. Does it delay sleep if taken shortly before bedtime? I've never taken it at night, to tell you the truth.
Kind of depends. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of depends. It depends on what's going on. It depends on your state of mind. It also depends on, how relaxed you are. I personally do like a meditation before I go to bed, and I sleep like a rock when I take Cardio Miracle. But like I said, like last night, I really didn't have a very good sleep because I have so much going on all at the same time, and so it just really depends on how people how affected they are. But I've also decided that not only am I going to change the way I eat, I've also decided that I'm done with caffeine. So I've been no caffeine for 3 days, and I used to do a lot of caffeine. So I'll admit it. So now I don't, and I feel amazing in every way.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you know what else I appreciated about John? He didn't put caffeine in the product, because one thing that everybody should be aware of is you have your adrenal glands, which regulate your blood sugar, blood pressure, your ability to sweat, not sweat, your adrenals, and regulate your heart rate. And many times people have blown out their adrenals because they're doing over caffeinated beverages, especially the high energy ones. In addition to that, caffeine taken too much on a regular basis, if you just drink 1 cup a day, it's not bad. But if you overdo it, it will. And plus, with all the other stimulants and stress, it will burn out your adrenals. So then you can no longer regulate even emotion. So that's very wise. And I appreciated the fact that he didn't put it in here. But here's something really reassuring. Because this is so loaded with B vitamins, it will help to repair the adrenal stress that we're in all day long, right? It levels out even your nerve fibers.
Yeah.
So that's exciting to me.
Unbelievable. I love it. Well, my final thought, I think we're 5 minutes over, but my final thought is to remember that nitric oxide is a great regulator. And if anybody has any questions on, what's all in the product, like, don't go to a doctor and say, can I take a nitric oxide supplement? Say, go with your package and say, will any of these ingredients harm me in any way? And that's the best question you could ask a healthcare professional or anyone that is asking about what you're taking or what you're doing or whatnot. And please reach out to us at support@cardiomiracle.com, and we do everything we can to answer as specifically as we possibly can. So thank you for this opportunity, Lisa.
You guys are fantastic. There's one last question I think we need to address, and that's prostate issues. Does it help with, further urination if you're a male and you're having prostate issues? Um, Remember that everything starts with inflammation. So whether it's prostatitis is an infection, but if you have an enlarged prostate, BPH, or something like that, you want to just really, I would hit it pretty hard if it were me, because that is an inflammatory process and you want to take it. I know there's some men that have shared with me, they take it right before they go to bed in addition for that particular purpose, and that they're able to not urinate so often throughout the night, and that over a period of time that they feel that they are going longer in between urinations. The other thing, the mushrooms in the product, do a little bit of research on the mushrooms in the product. They are purposely, put in the product for a variety of reasons. But one thing that those mushrooms do is they help with the inflammation that happens in the prostate. So again, hats off to John. That was really fantastic.
I
So
love
okay,
it.
well, thank you everybody. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much, Josh. You got to meet the man behind the phone. This is the guy that you're going to talk to. And
Well,
Elizabeth, thank
sometimes,
you
but
so much. And God bless everybody.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
thank you guys.